I used to tell women their hair color was aging them. I was wrong, it's almost never the color. It's the cut. Today I'm showing you 3 haircuts that quietly shave years off your face the moment you sit down in the chair, and 3 that do the opposite no matter how expensive the salon is. You've probably had at least one of the second group, and didn't know why the mirror felt off. I researched the specific cuts, lengths, and shapes that work for women over 60. Not general trends, but what actually reads as younger on a mature face, so you walk into your next appointment knowing exactly what to ask for. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I cover this every week. Part 1. The soft layer that takes a decade off. Here's something most stylists won't say out loud. The number one thing that ages a haircut isn't length, it's weight. Not body weight, hair weight. When hair hangs in one heavy, uniform mass, gravity pulls every strand straight down, and that downward pull drags the whole face down with it. It's physics, not fate. And once you're over 60, the skin along your jaw has already softened a little, so a heavy blunt cut doesn't just look dated, it actively echoes that softness instead of lifting away from it. You've felt this. You've caught your reflection in a shop window and thought your face looked tired. Even on a day you weren't tired at all. It usually wasn't your face. It was the hair sitting on top of it like a weight. The fix is soft face-framing layering. Specifically, layers that start at cheekbone height and move upward in a gentle cascade toward the crown. Never choppy, never blunt-ended. Here's exactly what to say in the chair. I'd like long layers starting at my cheekbones, blended so there's no harsh line, with movement built in around my face. That phrase matters because layers alone can mean anything from a subtle shift to a drastic chop, and you want to walk out with lift, not a completely different head of hair. Here's why it works on a mechanical level. When layers start at cheekbone height, they remove weight from exactly the zone where gravity does the most damage, the area right along the jaw and chin. Instead of one heavy sheet of hair pulling everything down, you get pieces of varying length that lift, curve inward slightly toward the face, and catch light instead of absorbing it into a flat, dark mass. Light is doing half the work here. A blunt heavy cut swallows light. A layered, softly cascading cut bounces it, and bounced light around the cheekbones is one of the fastest visual signals of youth we register, even subconsciously. There's a snapback moment worth naming directly. Women who make this one change report that people stop asking if they're tired. Not "you look younger." That's vague and forgettable. It's "you look rested," or "did you sleep well?" That's the specific, physical read this layering creates, because it visually lifts the exact area that reads as fatigue when it's weighed down. I think about Rosalind here. A woman who came in wearing the same one-length bob she'd had for almost 15 years, convinced her face had simply changed, and there was nothing to be done about it. She hadn't changed nearly as much as she thought. Her hair had just stopped moving with her face instead of working with it. We took it to cheekbone-length layers. Nothing dramatic, and within one visit she stood differently in front of the mirror. Chin up, not tucked. That's not vanity. That's what happens when the framing around your face finally cooperates with your bone structure instead of fighting it. One more layer of nuance most people miss. The layering has to be blended, not chunked. There's an older style of layering, very popular in the 90s and early 2000s, where layers were cut in distinct, separated chunks, almost like steps. That kind of layering actually ages a face because it creates visible gaps and breaks in the hairline that read as thin or patchy from a distance. What you want instead is a seamless blend where you genuinely can't identify where one layer ends and the next begins. Ask your stylist to point cut the ends rather than blunt cut them. Point cutting uses the scissor tip at an angle into the hair shaft, which softens every single line instead of leaving crisp, aging edges. The before and after here is stark and specific. Before, one-length hair, blunt ends, weight pulling straight down past the jaw. Face reading tired regardless of how she actually feels. After, cheekbone launched, point cut, blended layers that lift around the face and catch light at the cheek and temple. Same woman. Same bone structure. Completely different first impression in under 3 seconds, which is genuinely all the time anyone gets to form one. Now before you book this cut, there's one you should be running from just as fast, and it's the cut most women over 60 default to because they think it's safe. Part 2. The safe shortcut that's secretly aging you. And the fringe that fixes everything. Let's talk about the cut everyone recommends the second a woman turns 60, as if it's a rule written somewhere official. The short, rounded, all one-length pixie or bob. Cropped close, no texture, no shape, just uniformly short all the way around like a soft helmet. It gets recommended constantly because it's low maintenance. Nobody mentions that it's also one of the most aging shapes you can put on a mature face, and here's the uncomfortable reason why. A perfectly round, uniform short cut removes every angle from your face. Angles are what create definition. They're what separate cheekbone from jaw from temple in the eye's read of a face. When you shave off all the hair's natural variants and leave one soft rounded shape, you're not simplifying your look. You're flattening your entire facial structure into one undefined silhouette. The eye has nothing to catch on, nowhere to travel, so it defaults to reading the whole face as soft and shapeless, which again has nothing to do with your actual bone structure, and everything to do with what's sitting on top of it. I want you to notice something the next time you see this cut on someone. It photographs almost identically from every angle. That's not a compliment. A cut with genuine shape changes character depending on the angle you're seeing it from. That's what real dimension looks like. A uniform round cut looks the same from the front, the side 3/4, because there's nothing there to change. Sameness reads as flat. Flat reads older, every single time, regardless of the color underneath it. Here's the fix, and it's smaller than you'd expect. A soft side-swept fringe with texture cut into it, paired with slightly more length and shape left at the crown so the whole cut isn't uniformly short. Say this exactly in the chair. I'd like a side-swept, textured fringe with some movement, and a little extra length and shape through the crown so it's not one uniform length all over. That crown height matters enormously. It's what reintroduces an angle at the very top of your head, which changes how light falls across your whole face. The mechanism here is worth spelling out because it's counterintuitive. A side-swept fringe doesn't add length. It adds a diagonal line across the face, and diagonal lines are what the eye reads as dynamic, as movement, as alive. A straight-across fringe or no fringe at all leaves the forehead as one flat horizontal plane, which paired with a rounded cut, doubles down on the flatness problem instead of solving it. The diagonal sweep breaks that plane and gives the eye somewhere new to land, usually right at your cheekbone or temple, which is exactly where you want attention drawn. This is the moment I think of Colette, who'd been getting the same close, rounded cut every 6 weeks for years because her stylist told her it suited her face shape. It didn't suit her face shape, it suited convenience. When we added the side-swept textured fringe and left just an inch more length through the crown, the change wasn't loud, but it was immediate. She told me the following week that a woman at her book club asked what she'd done differently, without being able to name what it was. That's the tell. When people notice something changed but can't identify what, you've hit the exact right note, subtle enough to feel natural, specific enough to actually register. There's a texture detail here too, and it's the difference between this fringe working and falling flat. Ask specifically for the fringe to be point cut and thinned at the ends, not blunt cut straight across. A blunt cut fringe, even angled, still creates a hard line. And a hard line at the very top of the face draws attention to exactly the horizontal wrinkles across the forehead you're probably trying to soften. A point cut, thinned fringe breaks up into soft individual pieces instead of one solid block, which blurs that same forehead area gently instead of underlining it. The before and after is genuinely one of the most dramatic single change transformations I show on this channel, precisely because the starting point is so common. Before, uniformly rounded flat, no crown height, no fringe, same silhouette from every angle. After, side-swept point cut, textured fringe with extra crown height reintroducing shape, and a diagonal line across the face. Same features underneath both. Completely different energy on top. That's 2 down, 2 to go on each side. But the next mistake is one almost nobody talks about, because on paper it sounds like the responsible, low-maintenance choice. Part 3. The overprocessed crop that's adding a decade. This one surprises people because it sounds counterproductive on the surface. Going shorter and shorter every single visit, chasing low maintenance, can actually be the single most aging decision in this entire list. Not because short hair ages you. Short hair on the right shape looks incredible on a mature woman. It's the overcropped, overthinned, scalp close version that does the damage. The one where there's so little hair left that you can see scalp through it under regular room lighting. Here's the part nobody explains at the salon. As hair thins naturally with age, and for most women, some thinning is simply biological reality by your 60s and 70s. Cutting it shorter and shorter to deal with the thinning does the opposite of hiding it. It exposes it. Short hair has to work harder to create the illusion of density, because there's less length to add movement and shadow. Cut it too close, thin it too aggressively, and you're left with a style that visually announces exactly the thing you were trying to minimize. You've probably noticed this on other women even if you haven't clocked it on yourself. A crop so short and so thin that under bright light, especially at the crown, you can see straight through to the scalp. It's not about the length being wrong. It's about the density being wrong for that length. A style needs enough hair left to actually hold its shape and cast shadow. Strip too much away and there's nothing left to work with, no matter how skilled the cut is. The fix isn't necessarily growing it out. It's adjusting the ratio of length to thinning. Say this in the chair. I'd like to keep the length where it is, but I want less thinning throughout and a bit more weight left at the crown for density. That crown weight is the key phrase. It tells your stylist to leave more hair specifically at the top, where volume matters most for covering scalp visibility, while still keeping the rest short and manageable. There's a lighting mechanism behind why this works so well. Hair with genuine density at the crown catches and holds shadow in a way that thin, overcropped hair simply can't. And shadow is what creates the appearance of volume even when the actual hair mass hasn't dramatically increased. A stylist can build the illusion of thicker hair using strategic length and reduced thinning long before you'd ever need extensions or volumizing treatments. This is a cutting decision, not a product decision, which is exactly why it gets missed. Everyone reaches for a thickening spray before they consider that the cut itself might be the problem. I think of Diane here, who'd been getting her hair cut shorter every single visit for almost 2 years, each time asking to just take a little more off the top, because she felt like it looked thin. Every cut made the thinning more visible, not less, because we kept removing exactly the density that was disguising it. When we reverse course, same short length overall, but stop thinning the crown and let real weight build back in there. The scalp show-through issue essentially disappeared within 2 grow-out cycles. She wasn't imagining her hair looking thinner. She'd just been treating the symptom with the exact tool that was causing it. The before and after here is quiet, but unmistakable once you know what to look for. Before, short crop, heavily thinned, scalp visible at the crown under normal lighting, style reading thin regardless of actual hair health. After, same short length, crown weight restored, no thinning shears near the top, scalp fully covered, style reading full and deliberate instead of accidental. It's the same amount of hair on her head in both photos, just redistributed with intention instead of stripped away by habit. One mistake left, and it's the one that fools the most women, because it doesn't look like a mistake at all. It looks like elegance. Part 4. The elegant, long straight cut that's working against you. Here's the one that catches even stylish women off guard. Long, straight, one-length hair worn past the shoulders, styled pin straight with no layering or curve at all. It reads as elegant in photographs and in your imagination, but on a mature face, worn exactly straight with zero movement, it can visually pull the entire face downward in a way that fights against everything you're actually going for. The reason is subtle but consistent. Pin straight hair has a hard, unbroken line from root to end, and that unbroken vertical line acts almost like a frame drawing the eye straight down the sides of the face, past the jaw, all the way to the ends. There's no curve, no bend, nothing to interrupt that downward visual path. Combine that with any natural softening along the jawline that comes with age, and the straight line essentially traces and emphasizes exactly the area you'd rather soften. You've likely seen this on women who genuinely take care of their hair. Healthy, shiny, well-maintained, pin straight, and still notice something red as slightly severe rather than soft. That's not about hair health. Pin straight hair on a mature face, without a single wave or bend built in, can look almost architectural, which is striking in the right context but rarely reads as warm or approachable, which is usually the feeling women in this age group actually want to project. The fix is a soft, low-maintenance bend, not a full curl, not a perm, just gentle waves set at the ends using a large barrel curling technique or soft rollers, Enough to interrupt that hard straight line without turning the whole style into something curly or high effort. Say this exactly. I'd like my length kept, but I want soft, loose waves built into the ends, nothing tight, just enough to break up the straight line. That phrasing matters because waves can be interpreted anywhere from barely there to full ringlets, and you want the subtle end of that range. Here's the visual mechanism at play. A soft wave introduces a curve, and curves are what the eye associates with softness, warmth, and approachability. The exact opposite emotional read of a hard straight line. Even a very subtle wave, just enough to add gentle movement at the ends, is enough to break that unbroken vertical path the eye was previously tracing straight down toward the jaw. You're not changing the length or the color. You're changing the shape the light travels across, and that alone shifts the entire impression. This brings me to Marguerite, who wore her hair long and pinned straight for most of her adult life, and considered it simply her look. Non-negotiable, part of her identity. I wasn't trying to talk her out of the length, only the straightness. We kept every inch of it and added soft waves at the ends using nothing more dramatic than a large curling iron and a light hold spray. She told me afterward that for the first time in years, people described her as looking soft instead of put together. And she hadn't realized until she heard the difference how much she'd wanted that word instead of the other one. One important detail. This only works if the waves are loose and irregular, not uniform. Uniform, tight curls set with small barrel tools can actually read as more dated than the straight style you started with, because tight uniform curls have their own hard, repetitive pattern that's just as rigid as a straight line, only curved instead of vertical. What you want is variation. Some pieces waving more than others, nothing matching perfectly, because that irregularity is exactly what reads as natural rather than set. The before and after captures this perfectly. Before, long pin-straight hair with one unbroken vertical line pulling the eye straight down past the jaw. After, same length, same color, soft irregular waves at the ends breaking that line into something gentler and warmer. Nothing about the actual hair changed except its shape. And that one shift changed the entire feeling the style projects. So now you know the three that actually work. Cheekbone launch layers, a side-swept textured fringe with crown height, and soft loose waves breaking up a straight line. And the three quiet traps. Heavy one-length hair, a uniformly rounded cut with no fringe, and an over-thinned crop that shows more scalp than style. None of this is about chasing youth. It's about getting your hair to finally work with your face instead of against it, and that's a change you can walk into a salon and ask for by name today. Tell me in the comments. Which of these 6 did you recognize yourself in the moment I described it? I want to know which one hit closest to home. Next week I'm breaking down the exact question to ask your colorist so your gray grows out without that harsh, obvious line. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path, and I'll see you in the next one.